Okay, good morning. Let us start with, because it is already 5 minutes past 11:20. So last time we have tried to go through what are the different subjects you are going to deal with in the coming semester and also the next semester. I have also given an idea of what is that LTP, lecture, tutorial and practical LTP loading, the individual credits and how credits give the weightage to a particular course, and how to calculate that SGPA, CGPA, what I remember. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
So this class, let us devote towards what is there in the chemistry syllabus. Okay. In the meantime, anything coming to your mind, you can clarify. You can ask me also during the discussion. But this class I am going to devote towards what is there in the chemistry syllabus and why the syllabus is so designed. Okay. So let's start with chemistry syllabus. If you look at, you will be having some 5 different topics there. The scope has been reduced substantially due to that reduction in the total credit in the engineering courses. So if you look back the history of engineering course design, usually the credit was around 220 to 240 3-4 years back, and it has been substantially reduced to less than 200 credits in last 3 years. So scope for this basic science has been reduced a bit, and if you try to have a chemistry syllabus for the engineering students, definitely we think in 2 different perspectives. One perspective is your basic or fundamental chemistry, and another is your applied chemistry. The second perspective is applied chemistry. When you think of the fundamental chemistry, you are matured students, you have gone through that undergraduate courses, that +2 or intermediate courses, what I say, not undergraduate exactly, that is intermediate courses. You know, when you think of fundamental, definitely the structure bonding, thermodynamics, kinetics, these are some of the topics which come into mind. Why I'm saying those are fundamental topics, you understand. Still, I'm going to clarify it a bit. Coming to the applied chemistry, if you think of, everywhere you will find the application of chemistry, because in chemistry we are more interested in the micro science, not in the bulk science. I'm not saying that we do not discuss, as a chemist, we do not discuss the bulk science. Means we do not consider the matter as a whole, but we are more interested in the microscopic particles that make the whole matter or whole system. So often, as a chemist, we look into the microscopic particles that come together to form a matter, or that aggregate to form the matter. So we are more interested in the individual particles, the building blocks. Therefore, in material science, chemistry has a lot of applications. And you know, this is an era of materials, and every day new materials came into operation, whether it is high-speed computing, or you can think of that semiconductor chips which are used in the automobile sector, or you can think of anything. New materials are playing a very, very important role. Particularly, we can also think of the energy storage devices, the supercapacitors and all these things. High energy, fast processing, what I say, different types of processors which are used in the computers. Anywhere you think of, materials plays a very, very important role. Even if you think of sustainability, development of materials to maintain the sustainability of the environment. Now everybody is concerned about the sustainability of environment for the future generation, and if we are thinking of that, then also these materials are quite helpful. We have to think of new materials to increase the sustainability. Sorry. Wrongly, I have closed that sharing. Okay. So, as I have started discussing from the beginning, that there are two perspectives of chemistry. One is your basic science, and another is your applied chemistry. Previously, in engineering science, we were having a paper particularly attributed towards engineering materials. Some of the places you will be also having this particular paper, that engineering materials, which covers like abrasive, adhesives, cement, and the most important engineering materials like water and water. Water is very, very important, you know. That has a very specific importance, water and fuel. These are the two very important engineering materials. In addition to that, the smart materials also. Like nowadays, you must be hearing of that nanomaterials. Okay. So here we have tried to have an amalgamation of both these perspectives, because it is not possible to have both the things in detail because of reduction in the total credit structure. Therefore, there is a little scope that remains for us to have all these things in the syllabus. Therefore, we have tried to have an amalgamation and tried to give an exposure of both fundamentals as well as application side of the chemistry. Okay, and particularly aiming towards the development of new materials. Okay, as far as the second perspective is concerned, as far as the first perspective is concerned, we are more interested to find out the feasibility and kinetics of different processes. So if you look at the syllabus is designed in that way. Okay. So let me what happened actually? Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what is
Yes, sir.
happening? Something is going wrong.
Got to.
Okay. So the PPT is visible, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I am starting the discussion with a very simple question that comes to the mind of everyone. You can think now, suppose you are asked to solve a problem which is very new to you. Okay, a problem is given which is very new to you. You are not aware of that problem. You have not come across that problem in the history, and you want to have a solution for that. So what are the questions that comes to your mind? Can anybody help me to identify that? The first question that comes to mind when we encounter a new problem or new issue. Can anybody tell?
The origin of the problem, from where it begins.
Origin. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. How
How
did
Any
to
the
other
start?
problem come up?
solutions? Yes.
Sir, its
How to
effects.
begin, sir?
Effect. Okay. Third one. Any
Its,
other answer?
its constituents, from what it is made of.
Constituents. Okay. So several questions are coming to your mind when you encounter with a new problem for the first time. But in my opinion, the first question is feasibility, whether it is going to happen or not. Okay. So that is the first question to be answered whether it is possible or not possible. That is what I say, feasibility or spontaneity. In any process, when you try to have a solution for that, we always think in the mind that whether it is possible to have a solution, whether it will happen, whether it will occur or not. That is what I say always, that feasibility. Feasibility, that question has to be answered in the beginning. Okay, that is the first question. Hoga ya nahi hoga, whether it will happen or not, that is the feasibility. If the process you are expecting that it will not happen, then nothing to be done. But if that happens, if you think that it may happen, then the next question comes. What is the second question? Can anybody help? Actually, there are several questions, but these are the primary questions that should be answered for a new problem. When you encounter with a new problem, these are the primary questions. First is feasibility. Hoga, nahi hoga. If feasible, then the next question comes. What is the next
So
question?
is it related to time in any chance? Like how?
That is the
After
very
feasibility,
important. Yes.
what is the solution of the problem?
Okay. The first answer,
it can
time,
happen.
definitely that is a
Yes.
factor, but that
About.
comes next.
Okay.
In the third stage, you are going to have that time factor. What is the second step?
So
How
what's
it can
involved
happen.
in that?
Symptoms.
How to solve it?
The process.
Okay. The second question is how it will happen. What is the mechanism? What are the steps involved in the process? Are you getting my point? So the second question is mechanism. If you expect that it will happen, then how it will happen? What is the mechanism? What is the mechanistic steps behind that particular process? So feasibility, then comes the mechanism. And once you have an idea of mechanism, then you can think of what will be the time taken for the process to happen. There comes the rate or time. These are the three basic questions we need to answer when you encounter a new problem: feasibility, mechanism, and rate. I always say to students that anywhere you go, you will find these three questions: feasibility, mechanism, and rate. Okay, so feasibility, you need to give answer whether the process is feasible or not. Then once you get the answer of this feasibility, you will go to that establishing a mechanism, and as well as you have to also look into how much of time will be taken for completion of the process. That is the rate. So what are the topics in chemistry or physics that can help you, or what are the topics in the basic science that can help you to arrive at the answer of these questions? Let's look into that. Somebody has kept the mic open. Please mute. So what are the topics that helps? The first topic that helps to get the answer of feasibility, that is very, very popular, that is thermodynamics. So from thermodynamics, you can get the answer of this particular question, whether a process is feasible under a given set of conditions or not. So any branch of science you go, to engineering science you go, to medical science, anywhere, both basic science or applied science, you will find this topic as a common topic, thermodynamics, as a common paper also. Many branches of engineering has thermodynamics as a separate paper also. So thermodynamics actually helps in finding the feasibility. Okay. So actually thermodynamics is also comprising of two different approach. In thermodynamics, there are two different approach actually. I will discuss in detail as and when I will go into the topic. One is your macroscopic approach, which is very usual, common, and we have also gone through that particular approach in your +2 level. in plus 2 level, whatever thermodynamics you have read, both in physics and chemistry, that is macromolecular science or macroscopic approach is there, where the system is considered as a whole or matter is considered as bulk. We are never interested in finding what happens to the individual particles that make the substance or matter. Therefore, that is macroscopic approach. That is traditional thermodynamics. And another thermodynamics is also there, which is a microscopic approach. And if you think of microscopic approach, that is known as statistical thermodynamics. In engineering also, this is also discussed. In higher thermodynamics, in the higher classes, we look into this statistical thermodynamics. A lot of mathematics is involved. Therefore, we do not consider always microscopic thermodynamics or microscopic approach for feasibility, and it is also not required. If you are interested in answering this feasibility question, then this statistical thermodynamics is usually not used. We can give the answer with respect to macroscopic thermodynamics, which is rather simpler. Okay, but you should know that there are two different approaches for discussing thermodynamics. One is your macroscopic approach, another is your microscopic approach. And macroscopic approach, that is what we have done or we have read in your intermediates. And the same thing we are also going to discuss here in the first semester of BTECH, but little bit additional information will be there. What are the things I will discuss? So that is your thermodynamics. Once you get the answer of feasibility, then you have to establish the mechanism. And you know, thermodynamics, I have just told you that this is a macroscopic science. So we are not interested in the individual building blocks of matter. Therefore, thermodynamics fails to give the answer of this mechanism. Mechanism means what are the basic steps involved in the whole process. So to get the answer of mechanism, we cannot use thermodynamics. That is one of the limitations of thermodynamics. And I always say to students that this limitation also brings a lot of advantage to thermodynamics. Thermodynamics fails to give you the mechanism. I agree. But in this limitation, that is a blessing in disguise, I always say. A lot of advantages are also there because of this particular disadvantage. We will be discussing that in the further when we will go to the chapter. So just a minute, somebody wants to get an entry, I think. Okay, Nakshatra. Have you entered? Nakshatra Gupta, have you entered?
Yes, sir.
Anyway, so next we'll go to the to find the answer of the mechanism. For mechanism, we have to look into another topic, that is kinetics. Both the topics were there in the intermediate level, and you will be finding both the topics, whether you go to the engineering science or life science or medical science, anywhere. Okay, so kinetics gives you the mechanism. What are the steps involved in the process? If you are interested in a chemical reaction, you can find out what are the steps involved in a chemical reaction. Or there may be chemical reactions which proceed in one step, known as concerted reactions, or single step simple reactions. Okay, that also you have to establish that this reaction is a simple reaction. Sometimes the reactions looks to be very simple, but involves a very complex set of steps. Okay, so this has to be established with the experimentation process. Without doing experiments, we cannot say whether a particular reaction is simple or a complex reaction. Okay, anyway, so kinetics gives you the answer of mechanism. That is why I always say this thermodynamics and kinetics, these two are complementary topics. They complement each other. The limitations of thermodynamics is actually overcome by the advantages of kinetics. That is why these two are complementary topics, and combinedly gives you the idea of feasibility as well as mechanism. Okay, so once you establish mechanism, then the third thing is the rate. Rate is very, very important as far as the answers to the basic questions are concerned. Rate means variation with respect to time. Variation with respect to time. In physics, you will find that these two terms are very, very important. One is your rate, another is your gradient. Variation with respect to distance. This is variation with respect to time, how fast a process proceeds. Because if you develop that idea how fast a process proceeds, you can establish that how much of time will be taken for the completion of the process. That is very, very important. Time factor is very, very important as far as the energy consumption is concerned, manpower consumption is concerned, everything means total the whole process, the financial aspects, everything is related to time. So time is very, very important. What time will be taken for the completion of the process. So that is also you have to establish. And interestingly, kinetics also helps you to get the idea of rate. So this is again, kinetics helps you to get the idea of rate. So I hope these two topics combinedly help you to enter into a problem to get all the answers related to a new problem, that is feasibility, mechanism, and rate. That is why whenever we have designed the syllabus, we have taken these things into account, and as far as the fundamental concept is concerned, we have tried to keep these two topics as the first two topics in the syllabus, thermodynamics and kinetics. One more interesting thing is there, as I was just discussing in the beginning of the class, that structure and bonding. That is also very, very important, because unless you understand the structure and bonding, it is very, very difficult to plan the materials, new materials. But due to lack of scope, we have now removed that one, structure and bonding. The basics of structure and bonding you have gone through in +2 level, intermediate level, and the why that is removed, I'm just saying. Number one is that the basics you have already gone through in +2 level, and to go to the next level of structure and bonding, we need a little bit more detailed idea of that two things. One is your quantum mechanics and another is your group theory. So without the idea of quantum mechanics and group theory, it is very, very difficult to go to the next level of structure and bonding. So whatever problems are there in the intermediate level to understand, the same problems will persist if we continue to discuss structure and bonding without the idea of quantum mechanics and group theory. So that is why 3-4 years back we have removed that structure and bonding and tried to introduce a new topic to you, that is spectroscopy. Because with the help of spectroscopy, it is possible to establish the structure of molecules. So structure of molecules you can understand or you can develop with the help of spectroscopy. So that is why we have introduced spectroscopy into the topic, and we have removed that structure and bonding. And the main reason behind that is I have already explained that the basics you have already gone through, and the next level of structure and bonding cannot be discussed properly without the knowledge of quantum mechanics and group theory. So if you look at the syllabus, I will look into the syllabus next. Let us go to the course content. Actually, we have thermodynamics, we have kinetics, we have spectroscopy. You look at that, thermodynamics, kinetics, and spectroscopy. Already I have told you, thermodynamics, kinetics, that helps you to get the idea of feasibility, feasibility, mechanism, and rate. And this is utilized for finding out the structure of molecules, internal structure of molecules. Okay. And you can see we have one more topic in between, that is electrochemistry. Why we have kept electrochemistry? The logic is electrochemistry has a lot of applications in energy storage, and for particularly that purpose we have kept it. And for any process to carry out, energy is a primary requirement, and nowadays the energy consumption has increased like anything with the modernization of the society. From morning to night, every time we need energy for do something to assist us at every level. So energy, alternative sources of energy, energy storage devices, we need the concept of electrochemistry. Okay. So electrochemistry is kept for that only, for designing the energy storage devices, to have some idea of the green sources of energy. And nowadays we are using that fuel cells. You must have seen that fuel cells. These are considered to be the greener alternative of getting the energy. And we are now designing different types of vehicles based on this cell concept that uses hydrogen as a fuel. And hydrogen is a greener source of energy. So we have given a lot of importance to fuel cells, and different types of fuel cells we have tried to discuss in the syllabus. Okay. So electrochemistry is given some priority because of this energy storage devices and alternative means to get the energy. You must have seen that lithium-ion battery that is very, very popular nowadays. Lithium-ion battery, and in almost all the gadgets, that is your mobile phones, you must be having this lithium-ion battery. Normally, if you look at different gadgets like your electronic gadgets, like mobile phone, camera, and these other devices, you will be find nowadays two types of battery. One is your lithium-ion, and another is your nickel metal hydride. These are two batteries which are very, very popular nowadays. And we are going to have a detailed discussion of these batteries and what are the materials nowadays, updated materials we are using, and how we are trying to improve the efficiency and life cycle of recharging the batteries. These are all secondary batteries actually, lithium-ion, nickel metal hydride. These are rechargeable batteries. That means by connecting to a direct current source, you can recharge the battery for several cycles. And we are trying to increase these cycles so that for the long time we can use, and recycling is not required within 1.5 years. Rather, we can increase that time frame to 5 or 10 years. So that is very, very important as far as sustainability is concerned. So electrochemistry has been introduced with that perspective. And another thing, metals plays a very, very important role in our life. Metals, I'm talking of metals and alloys. So metals and alloys play a very, very important role in our life, and they get destroyed due to that environmental impact or interaction with the environment. That is a very, very, very common phenomenon that is known as corrosion. So if you look at corrosion, the fundamental of corrosion is lies in the redox reaction. So fundamental of corrosion, if you look at the fundamental of corrosion, that lies in the redox reaction, which forms the basis of this electrochemistry. So that is why also electrochemistry is introduced to you. And a small portion of electrochemistry you will be finding that how this redox reaction induces corrosion, and what are the means to control that corrosion. Because corrosion destroys the metals and metallic structures and alloys to a very great extent. Okay. And the last chapter, if you look at, that is nanomaterials. In the beginning also I have told you that these smart materials and nanomaterials, these are the most advanced materials which have a lot of application, starting from energy storage devices to drug delivery, medicinal applications. Lot of applications are there as far as nanomaterials are concerned, and most of the research that is related to nanomaterials. By using nanomaterials, we can increase the surface area to a very, very great extent. And that is why they are very good materials for storing different other materials. Okay. And a lot of applications, even in energy storage devices also, you will find the application of these nanomaterials. And as a chemist, we are interested to understand what are nanomaterials, the classification of nanomaterials, and rather the syllabus mostly aims at the synthesis of nanomaterials. So we are more interested in the classification and synthesis because we are chemists. So we give more emphasis on the synthesis of the materials. So some techniques which are widely used for synthesis of materials will be discussed. We are going to discuss in the nanomaterials. So that is the overall syllabus. 5 topics: thermodynamics and kinetics. As I have already explained, feasibility, mechanism, and rate. Electrochemistry is introduced to you because of this energy storage devices and to have some idea on the green energy. Organic spectroscopy has been introduced to help you to solve the internal structure of molecules. And regarding that nanomaterials, I have already explained that why were kept nanomaterials and what is the importance of nanomaterials. Look at the course objectives. You can read the objectives to enrich the students with the basic concepts of chemistry so as to strengthen the fundamentals which will support for pursuing education and research in engineering. Develop idea on feasibility and mechanism of chemical processes. Conceptualize alternate sources of energy by electrochemical means. If you look into the syllabus, we are trying to meet these objectives. Third thing, handling of instrumental techniques to explore organic molecules, that is the spectroscopy chapter, and some exposure to advanced materials. So these are the basic objectives of the syllabus: that feasibility, mechanism of chemical processes, alternative sources of energy, instrumental handling to explore the organic molecules or structure of molecules, and exposure to advanced materials, that is nanomaterials. These are the topics. Already I have told you. And these are the details of the topic. Details of the topic, definitely I am going to discuss as and when I will start the topic. I will be giving you the idea of all the topics in detail. Just to have a brief discussion, I am giving you, and I will talk only 5 to 10 minutes about these 5 topics. What is there and what you have read in +2, because out of 5 topics, 3 topics you have read in +2: thermodynamics, kinetics, and electrochemistry. These 3 topics you have read in +2. 2 topics are new for you: spectroscopy and nanomaterials. But first 3 topics, that is thermodynamics, kinetics, and kinetics and electrochemistry, you have already read in your +2 level. So you should first understand what is new there. So if you look at thermodynamics, then you will find that 60% is actually what you have already read. 40% will be the addition. Okay. So in thermodynamics, what you have read in +2, if you look at the +2 thermodynamics from the chemistry point of view, then the whole syllabi in +2 or intermediate revolves around the different types of heat changes accompanying a process and how to calculate that heat change or enthalpy change. Heat change means that is mostly I say, or we understand that enthalpy change, delta H. Mostly we understand that. Rather than thermodynamics, I can say we are mostly dealing with chemical energetics. That is, what is enthalpy change? What are the different types of enthalpy change? And how to evaluate the enthalpy change? And particularly, we have gone through a method based on Hess law. Am I correct? Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, but in this particular semester, we are more interested in the feasibility. Okay, so we are not going to discuss with those different types of heat changes or enthalpy changes and evaluation of enthalpy change by Hess law, etc. Rather, we are more interested in the feasibility. So we will be giving more importance to that concept of entropy, energy, entropy, and combined one, that is free energy. Okay, because free energy is the parameter with respect to which the feasibility can be identified. Okay, in nature, actually, whatever process occurs, all processes have some driving force, and at the same time, all the processes have also opposing force. So whenever there is a motion, there is always a friction, and whenever there is a conduction, there is always a resistance. So nature operates in such a way that driving forces are always there to drive a process, and at the same time some opposing forces also operate. Otherwise, the second law of motion will come into picture, and the concept of inertia. Okay, so my point is that driving and opposing forces always operate in any process. Okay, and as far as driving forces are concerned, if you look at, you may be thinking that whenever there is a heat flow, the driving force is temperature gradient. Whenever there is a work flow, the driving force is potential gradient. Whenever there is a current flow, the driving force is potential difference. So my point is that you may come across several types of driving forces, but if you look little bit the inside of these driving forces, you will find as a whole there are two driving forces only. There are two driving forces only. There are two driving forces. One is your energy, another is your entropy. Okay, so thermodynamics says there are two driving forces. Any driving force you consider, that can be grouped into these two categories. Either that will come in terms of energy or in terms of entropy. Okay, so I will be explaining all these things and how you can group the different driving forces into these two driving forces, that is energy and entropy. And everybody is aware of this: lowering of energy and hike in entropy or increase in entropy is the driving force. Any process accompanied by lowering of energy expected to be feasible. Okay, and any process accompanied by increase of entropy or hike in entropy is expected to be feasible. Okay, I will come in detail, but as we are interested in the feasibility, definitely we have to look into that energy factor, entropy factor, and these are individual conditions, or these are individual driving forces. And when there are two individual forces, sometimes they support or reinforce, or sometimes they oppose. When they oppose, that is a problem. We have to see ultimately the process is spontaneous or not. That means which is actually controlling, whether energy factor is controlling or entropy factor is controlling. In that case, you need a resultant factor. And the resultant factor is free energy, actually. And the resultant factor is free energy. Actually, the whole syllabus, if you look at, you will be observing that the whole syllabus moves around these three terms: energy, entropy, and free energy. Okay, energy, entropy, and free energy. And when you come to free energy, and in reality, this free energy term is actually identified as potential, chemical potential. Okay, in ideal condition, free energy, we say free energy, but in real condition, this free energy term is identified as chemical potential. So that transformation also we are going to look at towards the end of the topic. What is chemical potential, and what is actually the difference or transformation of free energy to chemical potential? Okay, so 40% new things we are going to discuss. because the equations which you have read in +2 or utilized in +2 in thermodynamics and equilibrium, like Van 't Hoff equations, Gibbs-Helmholtz equation, all these equations we have to derive here. That is not derived in the +2, straightway it was utilized. Clapeyron-Clausius equation, this is also not there in +2. That is a new one. That is a new one. The students who have came from ICSE background might have utilized this equation in that phase diagrams, but I don't know. As I know that these derivations and the equations are not completely utilized, but the consequences of Clapeyron-Clausius equation was utilized to some extent in phase rule. Okay, and partial molar properties concept of chemical potential. I was just saying that this is a new portion we are going to discuss. That was not there in the +2 because that is beyond the concepts which we use in +2. This is free energy concept we use in +2. But after that, when you transform to the real situations, the open systems, then we come to that chemical potential. So partial molar property is nothing but your chemical potential actually. Partial molar property, when you think of partial molar free energy, that is chemical potential. Okay. So partial molar properties can be any property, any extensive property. But when you say partial molar free energy, that is nothing but your chemical potential. So concept of chemical potential and all these things are new to you. And regarding the Van 't Hoff equations, Gibbs-Helmholtz equation and Clapeyron-Clausius equation, we are going to derive all these equations, and also the application side we have to look into. Okay, so that is the thermodynamics. Coming to kinetics, what you have done in +2, order molecularity and first order reactions or second order reactions we have discussed maximum in +2. But here we are starting the chapter with complex reactions. You see, I think in kinetics, if you look, then 30 to 30% you have already read, but 60 to 70% of the topic is new for you, because we are starting with complex reactions. How to write the rate law of complex reactions? I don't know. To some extent, you must have gone through complex reactions while preparing for JEE Advanced, but I don't know to what extent you have covered it. Complex reactions we are going to start with, how to write the rate law of complex reactions with this particular concept, that is steady state approximation. This is a new thing that is not there in +2, but those who are preparing for JEE Advanced may have gone through this steady state approximation, because that is a very, very useful approximation for writing the rate law of complex reactions. Okay, and I have seen a lot of questions are asked from this steady state approximation in JEE Advanced. Kinetics of simple parallel and opposing reactions. That is the second part. This is actually, we are writing the rate law, and you know that rate laws are differential equations that gives you the relation between rate and the concentration. But rate and concentration, these relations are not useful in regular practice or day-to-day life. We need a relation between concentration and time. So that is possible only when you integrate these rate laws. Actually, rate laws are differential rate laws, differential equations, and we have to integrate that to get the integrated rate law that gives you the relation between concentration and time. So that is done in that kinetics part. And we are discussing 3 complex reactions: parallel, opposing, we have conjugative. It has been written separately because usually I have written this as per the class division. So that is why parallel, opposing and conjugative. Actually 3 types of complex reactions we are discussing: parallel reactions, opposing reactions and conjugative reactions. Okay, then we'll go to the theory of reaction. Actually, you might be observing that I have written collision theory and that absolute reaction rate theory you have discussed in +2, but only the theoretical aspect you have discussed. We are going to discuss the mathematical approach of these 2 theories. And you know, collision theory has a lot of limitations. It cannot be applied to unimolecular reactions. So that is a very, very interesting new thing we are going to discuss, that modification of collision theory, that is the Lindemann theory. which is applicable to unimolecular reaction, because collision means you need two molecules, and if two molecules are involved in the rate controlling step, molecularity will become 2. So how to explain unimolecular reactions with respect to collision theory? That is very, very interesting. And we are going to discuss that with respect to Lindemann theory, or this is very popularly known as time lag theory. So though it looks like that you have gone through these theories, you will find a lot of new things here, because we are going to look at the mathematical aspect. You have only done one mathematical aspect in +2, that is calculation of activation energy by Arrhenius equation. That you have done, but you will develop Arrhenius equation here, and also you will be discussing the mathematical equations that relate rate with temperature in both these two theories, that is collision theory and absolute reaction rate theory. Catalysis, again, the basic part of catalysis we have done in +2. Here actually we are interested in these theories, because these theories can only be explained with respect to steady state approximation. So in +2, steady state approximation was not there, therefore theories are not considered. Here we are going to discuss that. And regarding enzyme catalysis in +2 you must have gone through that lock and key model or induced fit model. But here we are not interested in that. We are interested to develop a rate law or kinetics of that, means integrated rate law for this enzyme catalyzed reactions. And there is a very specific mechanism, Michaelis-Menten mechanism. This is a very new thing for you. And usually we can expect a long question from this side also. Okay. Anyway, so that is your kinetics. In electrochemistry, again, you will be finding a lot of things which are new to you. Modern batteries, that is not discussed in +2. Different types of fuel cells, your lithium-ion battery, nickel metal hydride battery, lot of things as far as energy storage devices are concerned, that is not there in the +2. We are going to discuss. But corrosion is a portion where most of the things you have read in +2. As far as corrosion is concerned, 80 to 90% you have read. Only 5-10% will be the addition, particularly in the prevention part and something related to galvanic seepage. Okay, so that is your electrochemistry. Spectroscopy, a very new topic, 100% new topic. You have not at all gone through spectroscopy. We have 3 different spectroscopic techniques in the syllabus. One is UV visible spectroscopy, you can see. One is UV visible spectroscopy, another is IR spectroscopy, and the third one is NMR spectroscopy. Though a lot of different spectroscopic techniques are available in the market for establishing the structure of molecules, but it is not possible to discuss everything at one platform. But you will get at least a basic idea how these spectroscopic techniques are helpful in establishing the structure of molecules, which will be a lot of help for us if you go to research in material science. So that is why we have kept this organic spectroscopy in the topic. So UV visible spectroscopy, infrared spectroscopy, and NMR spectroscopy. Coming to the last topic, that is nanomaterials. Already I have told you that classification we are focusing on, and synthesis we are focusing on. Being a chemist, we are more interested in synthesizing the nanoparticles. The fundamental methods or the basic methods available, though we cannot go to all the aspects or all the pros and cons of the different methods, but still then we have tried to give you an exposure about at least 2-3 important methods for synthesizing the nanomaterials. So that is the whole syllabus, and learning outcomes. I am not reading it. I have already given everything in the handout. I think I have shared the handout with you. No. I will share the handout with you in the classroom. I'm trying to share it today. You can go through, everything is there. Means all the objectives, outcomes, the details of the syllabus, chapter-wise details, and also the class details. Means how we will move in the whole semester the class wise, class 1, class 2, you will also get the distribution. Okay, so that is all about today's discussion. I don't think that evaluation breakup, I think already I have told you. So I am not going into the details of the evaluation, that 50-50 and then 20-30 breakup, that I have already told you. Activity-based learning, also I have explained you that weekend quizzes, assignments and innovation write-ups. This is also I have explained you. So I don't think there is no need of sharing that now. If you have anything in the mind to ask me, you can just ask me something, and then we'll end the class, because almost 2-3 minutes are left. So the platform is open. If you want to ask me anything, you can ask me. But after the puja vacation is starting from tomorrow, and once the vacation ends, we will be starting our syllabus. Okay, and enjoy the vacation. Keep your mind, join with fresh energy, so that we can continue with the proceedings, and be prepared that you are not going to get a number of holidays after this major vacation. So keep your mind very free and enjoy the puja, and then join with new energy with the classes. Yes, it is your
Just a random and fun question. Why did we have a class on Shoshti?
Yes.
Just a random and fun question. Why did we have a class on Shoshti?
Class on?
Just a random and fun question. Why did we have a class on Shoshti?
Today you have a class. Means why you are having a class today?
Yes, sir.
What is the problem actually? Because holidays are starting from next tomorrow only. And that is if you look at the government calendar also, all the holidays are starting from Tuesday only. It is a working day everywhere. In Odisha, all the banks, all the offices, all the colleges, all the universities are open today. Okay.
Bit too accustomed with Calcutta. So yeah.
We don't want to keep you engaged on holidays. I have no personal intention also to destroy your mindset for the puja.
But it's good to listen to you. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Sir, my system is buffering. Will you please allow me to rejoin? Okay, it is almost. I have allowed or not, I don't know. Nakitra Gupta. Because once I share my slides, it is difficult, because I have to come back and allow you. So try to join within time. I'm giving you 5 minutes of transit time. So if you join within that, it will be quite good for me. Anyway, we will not take much time. Go and enjoy puja vacation. God bless you all. We will meet after the puja vacation.
Thank you, sir.
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 Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Already festivals started. No?
Yes, ma'am.
Shasti started. Today I was taking a class in the morning, and we were just interacting, and one of the student, she was there in the pandal. So I told her to just put on her camera so that we can also. It was really very interesting. Okay. Meanwhile, what I'm doing is I'm trying to make 2 or 3 co-hosts along with me, so that you can, because now when I start with the PPT, then maybe you can allow students who are coming. So according to the names which are there in the list, first 1, 2, 3. One is Abhinav, second one is Abhishek, and third is Aditya Kumar. Okay, so because now I'll today, as I was saying, that I'll start with the theory appraisal, So I have made, and then yes, Aman Bhatti, yes. So 4 students are there who are the co-host along with me, and please admit them. Okay, so now, yes, thank you so much in advance. Yes, as I was saying that we are going to, yes, first of all, a very good afternoon to all of you. And I will start with the last class we discussed about the lab. And today I'll talk about the theory because this is the theory class. And I'll give an appraisal, and we will discuss what, if any query or anything is there, then feel free to ask me. Okay, so let me start with this presentation. Okay. So this is professional communication, and I'll be talking about course structure. I'll give you a detailed description about the course structure. Then I'll also talk about the objectives of this course. Then brief description of the contents, interpretation of syllabus, and management. Here I will also give you the academic lesson planning. I would call lesson planning. So we will do that also. So the subject's name is Professional Communication. Course is HS1005. Credit, it has got 2 credit. So 2 classes per week you will have, and the marks is 100. The professional communication, this one, yes. So this is the course structure with description. First topic that we shall do is communication, and under communication, I'll discuss what are the topics that are there under communication. But before that, we will discuss the learning outcome. The basic objective is to have a basic understanding of the communication process and to know the practical implementation in the workplace, to apply verbal and non-verbal mode of communication effectively in practical situation. See, when I saw you, I just saw, I didn't see your face, but immediately I said that all of you are in festive mode. How did I know? Okay, so it is through non-verbal communication. So there are some communication which you don't have to speak using words. So there will be communication which will use words, which will not use words. So that we have to discuss. And what could be the best communication, what could be the best expression that we can follow in a workplace, in a professional workplace. So this is an example, and that we are going to do in this communication. Then communication is not just interaction. Communication is more than that, and professional communication takes place in a scientific process. In a process. Now, what is a process? Process is something which follows step by step. So we will discuss that. So this is that is why the learning outcome is to have a basic understanding of communication process and to know the practical implementation in the workplace. Basics of grammar, to be trained in effective conflict management strategies, because sometimes what happens in a conflict situation, if you are handling it and you are grammatically incorrect, then problem will be like the person might not, the person who is in front of you might not be able to understand. To use English grammar correctly and unambiguously in technical writing. Writing skills, to bridge the gap between native language and target language, that is English, to develop writing skills by applying the writing techniques, tools in practice session, to retain a logical flow while drafting reports and other technical pieces of writing. So these are the 4 outcomes. After the completion of the syllabus, you will be able to acquire. One is the gap, the bridging gap between native language and target language, that is English. Then develop writing skills definitely by using the writing techniques, because when you have a subject topic called paragraph, you will not just be given to write a paragraph. You will understand what are the techniques of writing a paragraph. So that is what is meant by writing skills. Then drafting reports, you know how you will draft reports. Then to enhance speaking skills through punctuation. Sorry, the fourth module that we will do is basic sounds of English, that is enhance speaking skills through pronunciation, stress, and tone. Now, these are the topics, like for example, after this I'll come to the evaluation. Now, normally what will happen is, after your, I mean, it is not that only you will have your classroom mode of instruction. After completing that, you will have assessment, and assessment will be based on so many activities. The first, it is categorized into, first one is mid semester, then this one is the activities which you will be doing in the internals. Okay, and you will be completing all these three, and these three will have marks, plus mid semester plus end semester. So the first one is PowerPoint presentation in a group. To have basic understanding of the communication, sorry, this one we will not do. PowerPoint presentation, it will be a group presentation. So immediately after I complete the first module, that is communication, I'll take this one, this class assignment. Then we will have the presentation. The class assignment I'll complete. And after that, we will have the PowerPoint presentation. So for that, you have to have a group of 7, 8. I'll do that. I'll do the group for you. Don't worry. And you will prepare. You will show up PowerPoint presentation in the class. And this has got 10 marks. Then the next one is quiz. You will, sorry, not class assignment. The next one is quiz. So in quiz is a class test, I would say. This has got 10 marks because I'll take 2 quiz. 2 quiz means after the completion of first module, I will take the, I'll give you maybe 5 to 10 questions. I'll upload the questions. You have to complete it and you have to submit it in the class. And that day, the person who will be absent will miss the quiz, because if you are not present in the class, the quiz will not be assigned to you. So it has been systematically developed in this way. And the third one is, this is not class assignment. I'll prefer it as a home assignment. So here you will prepare a work file. I'll give you a topic. It will be descriptive in nature, and it has got 10 marks. So you have to make, like for example, the document could be 7 to 10 pages. Okay, so then in that way you have to prepare. It will be like a report or project. Okay, so this is total 30 marks. Sorry. And then you will have, so this is, you see, assignment 1 after 1 week, but I'll not make it after 1 week. What I'll do is I will come after first module. Assignment 2 after completion of the entire syllabus. Quiz 1 again after quiz will be the duration of 1 hour, and mid semester 1 hour 30 minutes, presentation 1 hour, class participation throughout. So this has got, you see, 5 marks you have, and semester will be of 2 hours and 50 marks each. So this is the duration. Okay, but it is changeable. Don't worry. What are the applications of this? It is used in, it is widely, I mean, it is definitely necessary for the component of placement. Unless and until you are not well versed with communicative skills, you will not be able to do well in recruitments. And in enhancement of communication skills, by it is very, very important. Your communication skills will be enhanced. In research, if you're interested for MTech or a master's in pursuing this, then it will be, or PhD, it will be used. And then in bridging the gap or in coordination. So this is this is the applications, and this is the course presentation of professional communication. Now I'll discuss the topics which we will be doing. Today I'll share this all with you so that you can know. Okay, so this is the first unit, that is communication. Under communication, what we will do is process of communication. As I was saying, it takes place in stepwise manner. So we will discuss that in detail. But first is concept. What is communication that we will do? Methods of communication, verbal and non-verbal, as I was saying. Then verbal communication is oral and written. Non-verbal is sign language and body language. So these are the types of body language. We will do that. Kinesics, proxemics, chronemics, oculesics, olfactics, gastrosics, then haptics, paralanguage, and sign language. Flow of communication, grapevine communication we will do, informal. And levels of communication, horizontal, upward, downward, vertical, and diagonal. All these are the 4 that we will do. Barriers of communication, intrapersonal, interpersonal, and organizational and semantic, that we will complete. Then basics of grammar, time and tense, subject verb agreement, analogy and sentence completion, active and passive voice, error detection in sentence. So this will be completely practice based. So out of this, time and tense and subject verb agreement is there in your lab. So I'll give you a demonstration, and then I will do the activity. And this analogy, active voice, and error detection, I'll be completely doing it in the class, and completely it will be activity oriented class, and it depends on your performance. You will get that 5 marks. Okay. And the next one is the writing skills, that is paragraph writing techniques and skills, use of punctuations, business letter. We will do inquiry, claim, complaint, order, technical reports, importance and objectives, format and style, comprehension, skills. We will do this. Then this will be, first I'll give you an introduction about the phonetics. The phonetics symbols we will discuss. Then hearing and listening is there. Okay, this is not there in basic sounds, but still it is covered under this unit 4. Hearing and listening, I will do it in the lab. Then problematic sounds. What are the problematic sounds? For example, some of us have the problem of saying, having problem with z. Okay. And the 3 shs, there are 3 shs, but we have the habit of saying only 1 shs. Okay, and so these are some of the problem sounds that we will discuss in detail. That's it about your syllabus, and as I said, I'll sharing it in your group, and this is what you have to will be doing in the entire class. Okay, and the class assignment after sorry, not the class, home assignment, just after your first module is over, I'll think of a topic and I'll give it to you, and you have to complete it, and you have to share it in the I mean, you have to I will upload it in the classroom. You have to share it in the classroom itself. And materials, from time on and off, I will be sharing it. This is about your professional communication theory. And participation is, as I was saying, very, very important. You have to participate in the class. It's not that if you, as I was telling in my last class, previous class, I mean, that even if it is right, even if it is wrong, you have to speak it out. So the more you speak, the more marks you get. But speaking is not among yourself, speaking is in the class. That is classroom participation. Okay. Anyone who has got any doubt, you can ask me. Anyone? No doubt. No. Okay. Yes. So I think last class I was taking your feedback about your expectations from this class. And today again, I'm not going to start, because if I will start in the class, in today's class, then the thing will be like, you will forget what I have discussed, because just from today will be the last working day for before your puja holidays. So you will be coming on, I think 20th is your reopening, I guess. When is your university opening? I mean, for the classes, when are you resuming classes?
20, ma'am.
20.
20.
20th.
20. Okay. And then again, I think 21st is a holiday. I think so. Though I'm not sure, not very sure. But 20th is your resuming. So 20th will be your Wednesday, isn't it? So Wednesday, I don't, if we have class, then again we will meet. So maybe like you have at least 10 days. So within this 10 days, you will forget. So what I'm thinking of is last class, who wanted to speak but could not. So I can, if you want, I can take some feedback from you all. What are your expectations from this class? Okay, from the theory class, so that I can incorporate it. And one more thing is that the importance of this professional communication is like there are so many what should I say, applications other than research, higher studies, and communication skills and other things. The major application is very, very common when you are speaking something, and you are speaking something to someone, and you know that the situation is very formal, then you fall short of words. Okay, in an informal communication, what happens is you fill that gap with any language. You can fill the gap with English, Hindi. You can fill the gap with any language which suits you. However, in a very formal situation, when you get stuck up, you don't get the right word, then you are not able to progress in your conversation. So what could be the what idea do you think would be would be the best? What according to you would be the best? Can anyone suggest me, please? Anyone who could suggest me? No?
Ma'am, your voice is not coming, so don't understand what you have said.
Okay, then in that case, I'm putting off my camera, because if I put my camera on, then maybe there is the network is getting unstable. So I can put, okay. Yeah, I was saying that suppose you get stuck up in your words. Okay, you are talking to someone in a formal situation, not in an informal situation. As I said, that in an informal situation, if you get stuck up in words, get stuck up for the loss of words, then you can fill the gap with any language you can you prefer. But whereas if you get stuck up in a formal situation while talking to a person whom in a very, in a very professional manner, what could you do? What would be the best remedy? What could be the best thing you could do? Can anyone tell me? That's what I wanted to ask. Please.
Will it be a good idea to tell him that, yeah, I'm getting short on words? Like, straightforward, tell him that, like, describe him what I'm thinking and I'm unable to put it into words at the moment.
Yes.
Will
Yeah.
that be a good idea?
It could be very good. Yes, it could be, because even if you are in a profession, in a formal situation, and you fall short of words, then the best thing is that yes, that one thing is that you can say that yes, I'm falling short of words. Yes, good. Anyone else who would suggest me something? Because in an informal situation, yes, please, Gaurav.
If I get stuck in formal conversation, like presenting any PowerPoint presentation or any other thing, so first of all I will say that sorry, I got stuck up in the moment. Please give me some time, and I will speak with you again.
Yes, very good, wonderful. Yes. Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay. Fine. We got two responses. And after that, what you will do? You got stuck up. And after that, what you will do? Obviously, you will try to improve. You will try to, what should I say? You will try to go into the details. You will try to think retrospect that where I have. Yes, please, Siddhant.
Actually, we all try to give our best vocabulary, or we choose perfect words. So I should say that we should be at easy, and we should go very simple. So it would be very easy to revive at that moment if we are going very simple. In a
Siddhant,
simple way,
just 1
actually.
minute. Just 1 minute. I'll just. Okay. Yes, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Really sorry. Yes, tell me.
Ma'am, we should go very simple. I mean, yeah.
You should go very simple. So, can you just give me an example of a situation of a situation where you could explain this?
Ma'am, we mostly stuck when we try to impress using new words. Mostly, so I should say we should go simple, very simple.
Yeah, perfect, perfect. Yes. That is why it is said that the more simpler you are, the more easy life is. Very correct. You are correct. I don't have any further things to say, but one thing is that, Siddhant, sometimes what happens is in our normal conversation also, when we are speaking something, and we fall short of words, maybe because of lack of vocabulary. This happens because everyone's vocabulary is not the best, and sometimes what happens is we are talking to someone, and
actually we are not used to in speaking English actually.
Yeah. Sometimes when we are not used to speaking English, because this usually doesn't happen when we are speaking in our mother tongue.
Yes, ma'am.
And this doesn't happen when we are speaking in English, in Hindi also. Like for most of us, even if Hindi is not the mother tongue, but we are very much comfortable using Hindi than in English.
Yes, ma'am.
So why it is? Do you know why? Because you see, even if you are from English medium, even if you are an English medium student, but you will feel more comfortable using Hindi. Do you know why? What is the reason? Can you suggest me?
Ma'am, because of our surrounding.
Because we do not speak in English in schools. We converse. We talk in Hindi with our friends.
Yes, ma'am. We are more comfortable in it.
Yes. Yeah, very correct. Even if the mode of communication is English, because I know, and I can talk about ICSE medium, and in ICSE medium what happens is the mode of communication is always English, and you don't speak in any other language among your friends also. But what we do, sometimes when we are outside the class, we feel comfortable, as you said, that you feel comfortable using language which is either your mother tongue or it is either Hindi. Even if it is Hindi, you feel comfortable in that, even if it is not your mother tongue. It is not my mother tongue also, but I feel more comfortable using Hindi. And the reason is we are very much familiar with that language.
Yes, ma'am.
Isn't it? So that is why, but when we are speaking in English, we fall short of words because we are not talking in English more often, even if we are using simpler words.
Yes, ma'am.
Still we are not comfortable. Still we fall short of words. So for that reason, what we have to do is, whenever we are practicing, like we are now that you all have joined computer science engineering and you going by the highly lucrative records of KIT computer science branch, where 100% students are placed, and see, you also have to do your part. And what is that? You have to practice. You have to practice communicating, because if you communicate, you will be more familiar with the language. And if you are more familiar with the language, you feel more comfort. That flow will come. Once the flow comes, automatically you are what should I say? I mean, automatically you are fine-tuned, and then you in the process you learn new words. And when
Yes,
you learn
ma'am.
new words, because you have okay, I would say that you have 4 years. You have 4 years, and after I
And
mean,
it's
with
all about confidence also.
it is about confidence.
Yeah,
When
one
you
of
are
the key
talking,
factor.
Lack of practice and lack of confidence.
Yeah, actually.
lack of practice and lack of confidence, yes. So at that time also you get stuck up sometimes, no, like
There's a
you
lot
think.
of difference between writing a message or
Hmm,
speaking. Yeah.
very correct, very correct.
Yes, ma'am.
When you are speaking out, you feel more nervous than when you are writing something. Okay, so
Also,
that is.
ma'am, if we acquire a
Especially
greater knowledge of
public
vocabulary, I
speaking.
presume that might be helpful.
Mhm.
Also, if we acquire a greater knowledge of vocabulary, as in getting to know more words, I presume that will be again helpful because you'll be able to incorporate those words in our sentences. So, hence, you'll be able to
Yes,
speak for much longer.
but Anish, that is the second step. And what is the first step? You speak first, you get the flow. When you get the flow, you will be speaking. You will be able to learn new words. Your learning is not, no one will stop your learning. You learn new words, no problem in that. But once you get your flow, then you can learn new words, and then you can communicate using those words. Today I was telling in the other section where I was taking class, I think 99% of the students use Insta. So what you do is, whenever you are using, you scroll the posts, because nowadays no one is using Facebook. It is either Insta or WhatsApp. In WhatsApp you don't get posts, but in Insta you get posts. So when you get the posts, you take a word that is interesting to you, that is interesting, I'm saying. Okay, so when you see that word, you learn the meaning of it, and then you use it in a sentence. And what could be the best example? Twitter could be the best example of
In fact,
communicating using that
absolutely.
sentence.
Twitter is one of the best
Clubhouse,
examples
ma'am.
if you want to really enumerate our vocabulary or any sort of grammar skills, because Twitter is one of those places.
Twitter is one of those places. Very correct. Because Twitter, like I have earlier, I always I was always active on Facebook, always. But then I saw that in Facebook, yes, you are socializing, and we also need to socialize with our friends who are outside India, who are my colleagues who are outside India, because we are collaborating. I have written one book with Springer, and you all might know what Springer is. Springer is one of the leading world's publishers. And my friends are there in United States of America, in so many countries, Switzerland, and I'm collaborating with people there also in Switzerland. We are writing a project. So for that reason, what I mean, Facebook is very, very important, fine. But when I am using Twitter, I feel it is much more good, because of the posts. You can comment, you can express your views. Suppose, like I'm giving my example again. My views are very political. Like I am very much like I have my own political views, and I express it, and then I get the feedback from people whom I do not know. And then what happens is you get to know so many things, and then you can use it. And when you are using a language, I'm sorry, you are using a word in a sentence, and you are using it on Twitter, definitely you will get a response. So that could be one of the best example of learning new. That is one of the example. You can use others.
In fact, I find Twitter one of the most beneficial social medias of all kinds, because there you can definitely share your opinion, and it's a
Yes.
give and take situation. So, in simple words, it's a win-win situation for everyone.
Exactly. In Twitter, people are not going to see your faces, because in Facebook, like whenever you post something, everyone will give, yes, wonderful picture, wonderful achievement, this, that. No one is going to speak anything negative. But in Twitter, no one is going to see your face. They'll just write whatever they want to. And even if yes, for one of my, suppose like I post something, or I tweet, or I retweet, or I give my comments, like I get so many posts, many are negative. But then I do, because I learn so many things from Twitter. So as you have very rightly pointed out, Anish. So this is one example I'm saying, but then there are other examples also. Like one of the professors was saying that learning new word is like, for example, you learn a new word. Like, for example, nowadays no one is having this generation students. No one is using dictionary, but we use dictionary. So when we used to read dictionary, we suppose like you underline one word, and you like that word, you underline it, and then you study the meaning, and then you use it on someone in a daily conversation. You catch hold of a person whom you know, whom you are comfortable, and talk to the person in English. That can be one, and that can be another example of teaching. Sorry, of learning new words, or
I would
enhancing your
definitely
vocabulary.
agree a lot on that, because it all depends upon the peer group we have. So, if our peer group is definitely communicating in English, so we'll definitely have a better background in English as well.
Very correct, very correct. And A1 and B1 and B2 are those sections. I think our dean says that they are the creams of the KIIT. So when you come to the campus, you will see that campus 15 is for computer science. And when you roam around the campus, you will find that the students in computer science, I'm talking about computer science students, they talk among themselves in English, among their friends. Sorry, yes. So you are like we used to go to the different campuses, because we have classes in different campuses. So when we hear English, we come to the conclusion that this is computer science department, because they love to talk with their friends in communication in English. And that is the reason why computer science students, they have 100% placement, because even if their grades are not very good, but their communication skills is excellent. You know something, the strategy to market one's skills is not that you have sometimes people have the content, but they are not able to speak, then they are losers. They lose, they don't get placements. And if you have the content, if you don't have like highest of the content, but then you are
But if we
able
have the
to.
flair to speak up, so we can definitely go up to the stage. And
Yes.
ma'am, in your opinion, how much do you think these communication skills, as well as interacting with people and empathizing with them along with the course mates, how much do you think it's actually helpful when we're
I would
actually
say
getting placed?
80%. I would say
80%.
80%. 80% will it contributes to 80%. And the reason is, as I was saying, that you are in front of an interviewer, and you have been asked a question, okay, and you know the content, and it is related to your subject, you know the content, but still you are not able to express yourself properly. And why you are not expressing yourself you are not able to express yourself properly? Only one of the reason is getting stuck up. You are not getting that right word to say. And if you do not get the right word, and then what happens is the person doesn't get communicated, the person doesn't understand what you want to say, and then you are not selected. But on the other hand, if you have less content but you are able to express yourself through your communication skills and the flow of communication, you will definitely be a winner in that. So that is more important, I would say. Communication skills is much more important, though it is the most underrated skills, but it is, I would say, it is one of the decisive skills. I have seen those students, because when I take first year students class, I can predict that these are the students who will definitely get placed, and they get placement because I know that their communication skills is one of the best. But then I also believe in luck. But still, if you work hard and your communication skills is very good, then definitely you are a winner. In Kiit, we have got students placed in Microsoft and other MNCs. So this
I
is...
remember I went to a competition. It was about a PowerPoint presentation, and I saw people with so much content, but they were not able to express properly. And at the same time, there were people with lot less content, but they were expressing so beautifully, and how they won the race. Like, it was the moment I realized that how communication is important at that moment, even with less content.
Perfect example, Gitika. Perfect example. Yes. And I think it's a very common thing which you might have also seen in your school, that like your opinion is, sir or ma'am is very, very, I mean, he's very knowledgeable, but he's not able to express. You know that. How do you know? You know through his communication only. And the teacher is never a best teacher who has the excellent of content, who is highly intelligent, because the person is not able to express, and that is communication. That itself is communication.
Ma'am, do we have this physical communication only in the first year or first semester, or throughout the 4 years?
First semester you have this communication, this is professional communication and language lab. In
Okay.
the fourth semester you have business communication. That is one step ahead of professional communication and language lab. It is a sessional class, 2 hours, and there you will get to know how to make PowerPoint presentation, how to write good resumes. So these are the things that will be covered. And then in the third year you will have placement classes, and in placement classes you will have related to this only, enhancement of communication, soft skills and other things. So definitely it is a continuity. School of Humanities will only be there in your first year and second year. Third year, your training and placement, that is CAAS, they will take up this. So they, and by the end of your third year, or maybe in the third year you will be getting ready for your placements. They will get you ready, and then by just starting of your fourth year, you will be placed. So this is the strategy of KIIT. Yes. And so anyone else who is interested to speak something? You can speak anything you would want to. But don't be very serious. In the first year, you just concentrate on, you don't think that, okay, communication is very, very important. We have to learn this, we have to do this, we have to do that. Nothing like that. Simple. Just talk to your friends in English.
Also, ma'am, how to get that flair to speak for around 10 to 15 minutes continuously without having any breakage or any sort of miswords used in our sentences?
That
How
you
to
can
get along
start.
with that?
First, you can start with 2 minutes, then 4 minutes, then 7 minutes, then 10 minutes, then 12 minutes, in this way. Just
Yes,
first you
sir. We are
speak.
doing the same. Actually, I and my friend Vaibhav Kumar Singh.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Vaibhav,
What
open your mic, please. Vaibhav.
Vaibhav, unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yes, Siddhant, what you were saying. Say.
I and Baba are trying to interact in English actually.
Weber, what do
And
you do? Can you just tell, focus on that?
normal chatting we do. Yeah.
Normal chatting
Earlier
means
we used to talk in Hindi, so yeah,
very
trying
good.
to improvise everything.
This is how you can start. I
Yes, ma'am.
think, yes, Anish, you can take a starter from this. Okay, even if it is grammatically wrong, don't worry about the grammatical content. Then
Yes, ma'am.
only you will get that flow.
Ma'am, I'm not proud of meditating about myself, but I have been to debate somewhat, so I have a bit of flair. I want to get along with around 15 minutes or 20 minutes continuous speech. Trying to like get into a bit more advanced level, so that was what I was a bit concerned about.
Okay. So, do you have any friends? Have you made any friends here?
Yeah, I have some friends in KIT who are in seniors as well as my batchmates who joined KIT. So I have
Yes.
certain friends. In fact, my classmates also pretty good. So they're good for interactions as well. They're always up
Yes.
for it.
Yes. So maybe when we are, at least I'm talking about my subject, when you have a class, then what you can do is you can interact in the class, and then if if anyone is interested, or maybe you can just talk to your friend in English, and then if you communicate in English, then definitely it will be a 1 hour. In that 1 hour, you will definitely see that if you are also contributing, if you are also participating, then definitely it will help you. I would say that.
And surely, I will abide by it.
Yes. Okay. Varun wants to say something. Please, Varun.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am, I have one problem that not a problem, it's kind of my weakness that I want to improve is that I have a kind of social phobia. I'm not that much expressive when I'm talking on WhatsApp or Instagram to anyone. I don't know why, but I do find it very hard to come up with words to start a conversation or to continue the conversation which is going on. I really do find it very hard. I don't know
Okay.
how to improve in this.
Okay. I'll just ask a situation. You just answer me. Then I think I'll be able to elaborate more on it. Say, for example, you are from which place?
Bihar, Munger.
Munger. Okay, fine. So you are saying that you are not able to communicate, or you are not able to participate in a conversation. It is in Hindi, or in Hindi you are comfortable. Like if 2 or 3 of your friends are talking about a topic, you participate in that. Is it that, or you are talking about all the languages, the entire communication?
No, ma'am, in Hindi it's pretty much comfortable for me, but in English, sometimes I get stuck.
Okay. That means you are not, you don't feel short of topic or the content. Like, for example, if anyone is interested, if anyone is communicating on a, say, for example, if anyone is talking or communicating about something current political scenario, you are interested in politics. Suppose you are interested in politics and you participate. Then you are talking about that, or you are talking about your shortage of content.
Okay.
Just think and tell me.
I have that content in my mind that I want to speak. That is, I have that kind of imagination in my mind that I want to speak about this thing when we are talking about a particular thing. But I'm not able to write it down, or I don't know what happens to me. I am completely froze at that moment, freezes at that moment, and I cannot continue the conversation, ma'am. Something like
Okay,
that.
great. You have friends in your hometown, or you have friends here in this class?
Yes, ma'am, there are.
Okay, then what you can do is, I'll just suggest one thing, just as a starter. You have your professional communication WhatsApp group, right? So
Yes, ma'am.
one day, what we will do is, maybe like when you all are some of you are free, or maybe when you are also free, we'll just start a conversation. Okay, and you will give your input, and this is for all the students who find difficulty in communicating, as Varun said about social phobia. So if anyone is having that, it is welcome, and it is welcome for everyone, but it is compulsory. Compulsory means I'm no one to make it compulsory, depending on your interest. If you want to improve, then you can just give your ideas in English. First, let us start with the written communication, and then maybe in one class I will take a group discussion. Then I think you will be able to get that flow, and this will be for Anish also. Maybe one group discussion if we do, then we'll not do for everyone, we'll do for some students, like maybe one group, two groups, in this way. Then I think when you will discuss it in the group, then I think you will get that flow of communication that you can do. Okay.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So anyone else who has anything to ask?
I'm speaking in front of the mirror is quite effective.
Speaking in front of the mirror.
Uttering words, it's not everything. The way expression, gesture, and everything matters. So body language, so called.
But to start, no, Siddhant, what happens is when we are starting and we are standing in front of the mirror, we look at our gestures, and then that makes us more nervous. So what we can do is we can just talk talk to ourselves, and then we can. The next step would be to stand in front of the mirror and speak. And speaking means, yes, see, there are two things. One is speaking yourself and talking to yourself. These are two different things. I think you might have heard about the soliloquies of Hamlet. That is an example of sort of informal communication, informal self-communication. That you can start. Then you can start with standing in front of the mirror and speaking. Okay, speaking gives you more sort of formality in communication. So that you can do.
Or kind of imagining a conversation in the mind.
Yes.
Sort of.
मतलब you say ना कि कुछ भी मन में चलता है तो you express that. That is. मन में कुछ चलता है तो you are expressing it. So that is.
I got it.
Got it, na? So that is what I want to say. Yes. Anyone else? नहीं तो class कोई problem नहीं है. ऐसा कुछ नहीं कि like we have to continue till 1:20. If you all are interested, then we can wind up the class now also. But otherwise, we can continue. I don't have any problem. If you all are in festive mood, you want to end the class, then we can quit the class.
In my opinion, talking to ourselves does help a lot. But at the same time, when we talk to someone in person, then the situation is quite different. Like the gestures and everything is like everything just seems different.
Then Gitika, what you can do is when you are talking to someone, talk to a person first who is very much familiar to you. You can talk to your mom, you can talk to your dad, you can talk to any of your sibling, you can talk to your close friend. Then you can
talk to friends does help a lot, yes. Yes, talking to friends does help a lot, yes, ma'am.
After that, you can talk to people whom you are less familiar with. In that way, you will see that you will definitely improve your communication skills. Communication skills is nothing like actually what happens is there are some students who don't communicate at all and directly they sit in front of the interview, or directly they sit in the placement class in front of the teacher. Then the things get spoiled. So what you can do is you can just start from now onwards. Talking to known people, then talking to unknown people, then talking to known people, then talking to less familiar people, then talking to unknown people. Unknown people means I'm not saying that unknown people you will just catch hold of and talk, nothing like that. Maybe for like for example, you are talking in a very professional situation to your faculty whom you don't interact. This way, this is how you can do. Okay.
Yes,
this will help you. I think so. Okay. Okay, so we now if anyone is interested, then again you can discuss with me.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Shivashish.
So the best thing would be to really pay real attention to this class, to not get stuck up in conversation, right? That's the takeaway.
Yes, that is the takeaway. Yes. How to not get stuck up in the in between conversation?
If we get stuck up, then we have sort of excuses like I cannot express or describe particular thing. I'm blank, speechless.
But now in my class,
We
take
should
it
just
as
apologize, take a moment, and start again.
Honesty goes a long way, I think.
No, one more thing I would say that this in this class you can afford to do one thing. Like for example, you get stuck up in something, you can use Hindi, but after that you have to retrospect where I went wrong and what would the best word that would fit in. In this way, if you continue like this through the entire semester, you will definitely have a very good. By the time you complete this semester, your communication skills would have been enhanced to a great extent. This is what I feel. It's like if you are getting stuck up, you can use Hindi. No problem in that. Yes. So we wind up the class. And I wish everyone a very happy holidays and enjoy your puja. And we will be in touch on WhatsApp. As I was saying that we can communicate maybe regularly. Then I think just if you feel like writing something, write about a topic and everyone will join. That we can do, and then I think it will be interesting also.
Now your Twitter ID.
My Twitter ID, DIPANJALIMISHRA.
I don't use it.
Sorry, doctor. Got it?
Insta.
Insta is DIPANJAALI. Just Dipanjali.
Can you please write it down in the text box?
Okay, just a second. I have to search for it. Just 1 minute. I'll do that.
Then Siddhant, be careful. Ma'am will also stop
Nothing
you.
like that. My students, you don't know, like they write anything. And I enjoy. It's nothing like that.
You too, bro. We are on the same side.
I'm not giving my ID.
Okay.
Yeah. We are on the same side, so it goes for you too.
Yeah. Just 1 minute. I'm sharing the link of my Insta and also Twitter. This is Insta and this Twitter. Just 1 minute. Twitter, I have made 2 IDs, and Facebook also 2 IDs. One for college, one for my university, and university we have to share and like the Kiit posts. So it is composed that
I have sent you the request.
I'll accept it just now. And my this one I'm sharing Twitter account. This is my Twitter account.
I don't use Insta, so I'll be following you in Twitter, ma'am.
You have started? I'll just see.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Yeah. My professional ID is there on my this computer, so I am not able to send you the link, but that's why I sent you the name. Let me see if you have. And if you all won't mind, then I will also follow you, if it is okay with you.
Yes, ma'am, we need followers.
Yes, ma'am.
It's okay, na? On this also, Insta also, if it is okay, then I can.
But never judge us on the basis of our account. Yeah.
I won't. And see, like, what should I say? If you see my Twitter posts also, like, some of the posts are like very, what should I say, very uncensored also. So if you will not judge, then why should I judge? It's nothing like that. Depends on the views. And professional is something, and personal account is something, because in Twitter and Insta, like, you are you are not professional that time now. So I don't think.
At the end of the day, social media is just a construct, right?
Exactly. And social media helps us to grow. That is what I feel. And I have my research papers, so many research papers on social media, the cyber security and other things. And that's it. But so today, whatever request I have got, I'll follow on Insta and Twitter also.
Twitter too, ma'am.
Yes, most of the time I'm on Twitter, even less on Insta, but most of the time I'm on Twitter. I keep on writing something or the other. Okay. So we wind up the class.
Follow him back. Don't follow him back. This Vaibhav Kumar Singh man, he's very irritating.
No, that's why I take permission.
Daily good morning messages and midnight text.
Where? In Insta and Twitter? Good morning messages?
Yes, ma'am.
No, ma'am, he is doing it. Ma'am.
Yes? Okay, so we wind up the class here. Great.
My net is not working, so he's taking the advantage.
Ish. Knowingly, that's why he said that make his, tell him to put on his microphone, isn't it? Okay. So we wind up the class here, and we will be online. We will be interacting with on social media. Put the topic, we will discuss on that, and in this way, our English will be enhanced. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for the interesting class. I really had a very interesting class today.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay.